Hey, it's time. Stevie rocks. Hey, kids, rock and roll, rock on. Album 21, Elvis Costello and the Attractions, this year's model. Now, let me start by saying that this year's model, as incredible as it is not my favorite Elvis Costello and the Attractions album. That belongs to Get Happy. That's my favorite one. I've got other favorites too, but Get Happy is my favorite. But the reason why I picked this year's model is because at the time, the punk rock thing was going on. I was totally into the punk scene, New York punk, British punk, all the punk, and Stiff Records. I'm going to do a whole video about Stiff Records out of England, and you'll understand the importance of Stiff Records in my rock and roll history, the rockaholic days. But Stiff Records was a great record label that came out of England, and every week or so they would come out with a new 45. Buy one, buy two, buy three. Those were the label numbers. Buy 11, the 11th single released on Stiff was Elvis Costello, Less Than Zero. It was a weird cover. He looked like a disheveled Buddy Holly. And I immediately loved it. But it wasn't punk. It was kind of like a reggae, pop, British, unusual song. So I loved it. I loved the Flipside Radio Sweetheart, kind of a country sound. It was different. And I loved the name, Elvis Costello. This was like months after Elvis Presley's death. So who the hell's this guy to use the name Elvis? People were pissed. Anyway, and it wasn't his given name. It wasn't his birth name. It's a name that they chose for him, which makes it even more obscure or nervy, ballsy. Let's put it that way. But it had balls. Even though it wasn't punk, there was some balls to it. I waited and waited and waited for the album to come out. My Aim Is True comes out. It was incredible album of pain and misery and love's lost and revenge and murder. It had all the elements of a great album. And I loved it. But I feared that Elvis Costello would turn into like another Bruce Springsteen, another, Southside Johnny. He had that. There was something. It was a great album, but that a little bit of same old thing here. Although I loved it. Album 2 comes out very quickly. He put out 4 albums in like 2 years. It was insane. This year's model. So I bought it. Completely changed everything. First of all, the Attractions came in. He didn't have the band Clover backing him up. Some members of Clover went on to become Huey Lewis and the News. You get the idea of what that album was all about. It was kind of FM, a little mainstreamy. This year's model was like an assault on the ears. I was not ready for this. Blew my mind. I was like, okay, this guy's not going down the Springsteen path. He became Elvis Costello, and he was his own man. It wasn't punk. He wasn't new wave. It wasn't pub rock. It was Elvis Costello and the Attractions. The Farfisa organ. No action. This year's girl. Pump it up. I don't want to go to Chelsea on the British version. Hand in Hand. Lipstick Vogue. One of my favorite all-time Elvis songs is the one on side 2. Okay. Lip Service. Sorry. Living in Paradise. The British version had Night Rally. The American version had Radio. This album is great. What a great album. I could still listen to it today. I still love it. Once again, not my favorite by him. Get Happy has that mantle, but close second. Armed Forces also. There were really 4 in a row. My Aim Is True, this year's model, Armed Forces, Get Happy. I talk a lot about 4s. If you can release 4 incredible albums in a row, you're going to be around for a long time. He's still around today. I'm ups and downs with him. A lot of his newest stuff I'm like not crazy about, although All This Useless Beauty was an incredible album. But this year's model is number 21 on my list of 100 albums that you must buy and hear.